And my experience with OCATs has not really been positive. My OCAT last year was non-existent, and this year I pretty much didn't even know I lived on the floor. So my opinion of the cuts and their funding is perfectly fine, especially considering that it's not reducing the number of OCATs, which is a great idea, and if done properly and the right people are appointed to these positions, I think can be a great aid. But as for right now, there needs to be some changes in their program.
Well, my first experience with OCATs was during my freshman year, as a lot of people encounter OCATs, and a lot of the person who I had, she lived right down my hallway, and she was very accessible. She became more like a friend eventually. She would invite me to different programs, and we would be able to talk about stuff because it was hard for me to culturally transform into James Madison.
Well, I think we really need the OCAT office because they're this cultural broker between minority students and students that aren't necessarily from the United States, and so these students face adversity when they come here, and they often have problems with graduation, and so the OCAT office basically is inserted to try to advance basically the learning gap. And so
I really feel like budget cuts are a big no-no. They shouldn't cut their budget because, at least in my experience as a mentor, I've had some issues on my floor between residents of different races, of different backgrounds, and the OCAT aides have stepped in fabulously and, for the most part, have taken care of the situations 100%. And a lot of their education comes through their programming. And believe it or not, a lot of residents do go to this programming, and whether or not there are incentives for these residents to go there, they walk away with something, like having learned something valuable.